Let's take a look now. This is an interesting stock market take. There's Trump stocks and there's Biden stocks, according to our great friend Dan Clifton, who's the Washington head of policy for Strategas. And we do have Art Laffer, former Reagan economist and Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, author of Taxes Have Consequences. So the idea here is, Dan Clifton, welcome back to the show. You've got some great stocks.
Great to be here, Larry.
You've got some great sectors, and Art's going to kibitz on it, right? Art's going to kibitz about these things. First of all, we can't go through everything, Dan, but basically you're saying when you look at the Trump basket of stocks, immigration enforcement is a factor. Of course, fossil fuel energy would be proved up under Trump, stronger defense spending, and financials. In other words, I think you're saying less regulation. Just walk through briefly what some of these things are.
Well, Larry, first, thank you for having me back. And this is going to be an exciting election. The president is making it very clear that he's going to get the U.S. border under control. And as you know, he can do that by executive order right on the first day. And so there are going to be companies that are going to have a change in the trajectory of their earnings if you got greater border enforcement. Those are going to be the equipment that Border Patrol agents are going to be equipped with. So Motorola or a company like Axon. Also the prisons to make sure that people are not going into the interior of the country, like Geo Group and Core Civic. So from immigration enforcement, I think it's immediate, and I think it's going to be a big change. Second, on energy, it's less about the production. We're producing a lot of oil right now. Trump is going to drill. But we need to figure out how we're going to distribute that. Pipelines are going to be a key part of this. Also, an all-the-above approach, more coal, more natural gas exports. Those are going to be the winners on the energy front.
Okay.
Of course, on financial regulation.
Yeah, hang on, Dan. I want to take the first two. I want Arthur to kibitz on that. Immigration, big immigration enforcement, Art, and energy, drill, baby, drill. What do you think?
Well, those are two areas that are going to be clearly favored by Trump totally. But what I think, Larry, if you look at the whole package, is you're going to see a very, very strong bull market under Trump. It may not start right the day he's elected, but once he gets that going, once you get those policies back in place with tax cuts and pro-growth, it's going to be a Reagan-like and Kennedy-like stock market. I think it's going to be really, really strong. Only a few industries, I think, are really going to fall back. But it's going to be overall strong. And Dan, I'm sure, is completely correct on the stocks he's picking. But I'm just going to look at the whole market and say, wow, this is going to be a perfect time to be fully invested.
You know, Dan, let's just speculate. All right, drill, baby, drill. He can do that through executive orders. Immigration, he can do a lot of that through executive orders. Absolutely. Except building the wall, but he'll fight for that. Taxes, the one that worries me the most, Dan Clifton.
Absolutely.
You know, because if the House goes Democrat or the Senate stays Democrat, they're just going to obstruct any, good tax cuts or tax reform or extending the Trump tax cuts.
Absolutely. Look, we got a couple of catalysts next year that the president's going to walk into. That's one, the debt ceiling has to be raised in the middle of the year, and you have all of the Trump tax cuts on individuals expiring. And so if you have complete government control by Republicans, it's very likely that many of those tax cuts will get extended, particularly the estate tax, the top marginal tax rate, and some others. If the Democrats win, what they're going to try and do is raise taxes on corporations to be able to fund the middle-class tax cuts, and they're going to try and take away the top income tax rate and use that to finance those tax cuts. Yeah. So who is in Congress matters. And I think what's really interesting, to Art's point, is the market's already figuring out that the Republicans are probably going to have control of the Senate with Joe Manchin's seat coming up. So you're at least going to have a 50-50 Senate. That at least limits the downside of a more progressive government moving forward. But you could probably get upside. And I don't think there's been a situation where if a Republican president wins, he didn't take the House with him, or even vice versa. If a Democrat wins, they usually take a Democrat House with them. So there's a big challenge in the House with some of these seats that are up. But if Trump wins, he's probably going to have a big enough wave that it brings the House there. And that allows for those pro-growth tax cuts to get enacted.
All right, Laffer, I'm going to give you the last 30 seconds, yes, actually the last 25 seconds. Right now, though, how do you look at the stock market, between now and the election?
I am buying, I'm buying into the stock market in aggregate, Larry. I am buying into the stocks that I think are going to be bull markets. We used to call them, if you remember, high cat stocks. I think those stocks that did really well under the Kennedy and under the Reagan periods are going to be the ones that do really well here as well. And I think we've got a period of prosperity, but I'm buying in right now on a schedule basis to increase my portfolio. So by the time Trump wins, I will be fully invested. That's what I'm doing.
And Dan Clifton. We'll do more on this, Dan. Thanks for coming back on the show.